When we put it into application, it says the area in meters squared of a rectangular field can be represented by the expression 12a squared plus 25a minus 7. And the length can be represented by 3a plus 7. It wants us to find what the width is. Well, if area is equal to length times width, then if I isolate for width, it's going to be the same as the area divided by the length. So if that's true, I can say that the width is equal to 12a squared plus 25a minus 7 divided by 3a plus 7. I'm going to fully factor down that numerator. And when I factor down the numerator, I get 3a plus 7 and 4a minus 1. And I can't factor down the denominator at all. And when I cancel out the common factor, being the length, I wind up with my width, which is just the 4a minus 1. For the second part of the question, it says, well, what if my perimeter is 54 meters? And we know that perimeter is equal to 2 lengths plus 2 widths. And I already know what the length and the width are. We were given the length, and we solved for the width. So that means that if I take 2 lengths, 2 3a plus 7s, and I add to that 2 widths, 2 4a minus 1s, that's going to equal 54. When I expand this out, I'm going to get 6a plus 14 plus 8a minus 2 is equal to 54. I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I'm going to combine my a's. So I can say that 14a is going to be equivalent to 42. And then when I divide both sides by 14, a is equal to 3. When it says the field has to be treated with fertilizer that costs $2.40 per square meter, calculate the cost of this treatment. Well, now that I know what A is, I can calculate my total area. My area is going to equal, from my original equation, 12a squared plus 25a minus 7, which would be the same as 12 times 3 squared plus 25 times 3 minus 7. And when I put all that in, I should get 176 meters squared. The cost to doing this is going to be $2.40 per square meter multiplied by my 176 meters squared, which is going to give me $422.40. Now, we will sometimes encounter expressions where it says simplify where possible, and then state the non-permissibles for x in terms of y. Well, where possible means it's not always going to be possible to simplify. But I should always be able to state some sort of a restriction. So if I'm looking at the first case, I can't factor down. There's no common factors. So all I can do is I can find the restriction. In this case, if I said that x minus y, the entire denominator, cannot equal 0, then when it says determine x in terms of y, it just means isolate for x. In this case, x just can't equal y. Doesn't matter what x and y are, as long as they are not the exact same number. Otherwise, it's going to cancel out and you're going to divide by 0. When I take a look at example B, then I'm going to factor down the denominator, x plus 5y divided by x plus 5y and x minus 5y. I can remove the common factor of x plus 5y and I'm going to be left with 1 over x minus 5y. And based on the x plus 5y and x minus 5y, x cannot equal the same as positive or negative 5y. Once again, just doing that from taking the factors on the denominator and isolating for x. Sometimes we'll wind up with problems where we see this squared. And those ones always confuse people because just like when we have an x squared, remember that it occurs twice up there. So I'm going to rewrite it as 6 x plus y and x plus y. Just make it easier to read. And this is all being divided by, when I factor down the denominator, 3 x to the 4 minus y to the 4. Now, I can factor this difference of squares down, not just once actually, because I would have x squared plus y squared, x squared minus y squared, but I still have a second difference of squares, which means that this is all going to become 6x plus y, x plus y, divided by 3 x squared plus y squared, x plus y, and x minus y. I can divide out a 3 from the top and the bottom, so I'm left with a 2 here. I can take away an x plus y from the top and the bottom. And then I'm just left with 2 x plus y over x squared plus y squared and x minus y. And this is true so long as x is not equal to positive or negative y. All right, go ahead and get some practice.